Danielle joins us now, and you know, that was a pretty comfortable start to the Stampede parade.
Yeah, we had a really nice morning. Yeah, and really we're lucky because today we're stable as well. I'm sure you noticed the clouds rolling in, the winds picking up a little bit. It's ahead of a system that's tracking into the province from the States. It looks like we're just going to be on the outside edge of this. So clouds, yes, for this evening. Gusty a little bit at times, 30, 40 kilometers per hour. But we should have most of the rain be south of us. So with this system that's going to be moving in, Okotoks and south will see the rain. We may see a little sprinkle. Isolated sprinkle as possible later this evening through the overnight hours. We have a decent chance of seeing a couple raindrops in the morning tomorrow. Tomorrow a high of 19 degrees with some sunny breaks at times and a little windy, especially in the afternoon. All right, that is your 24-hour forecast brought to you by 5th Avenue Volkswagen, where you can win your ride. See dealer for details or visit 5thAvVW.com. Ian?
In the beginning of the first weekend of Stampede, and you know, some possible showers here and there.
Yeah, this system that's moving into southern Alberta is not going to impact Calgary as much as it will for areas to the south of Calgary. And I'll show you what I mean in just a second. But first, looking outside, it's been a lovely day. And really, when you head to Stampede when it's not too hot, because when you add the people in the pavement, that really adds some extra heat. So it was a lovely day for all of it. And we had sunshine for the parade, as we talked about. 19 is the temperature downtown at the moment and in Airdrie. And at the airport 18, 17 in Winsport and Bragg Creek and Cochrane. It was a beautiful day for golfing. Get your daily dose of greens at Serenity Golf Club, just 20 minutes east of Calgary. Okay, right now, still some heat in the far southeast corner, which is typical. Really, 25 degrees right now in Medicine Hat, just 18 in Calgary. So this cool down is starting to trickle in, and it will trickle into all the communities in the southeast tomorrow. That will be cooler than what happened today. Upper air analysis is showing that we're going to be on the cooler side for the weekend, but the key thing is this ridge of high pressure is going to start to build in Monday. So Monday in Calgary, for example, you're looking at those mid-20s. But then after Monday, so for Tuesday and Wednesday, as this starts to build in stronger, the warmth starts to intensify, we'll likely be back into the 30s, if not very close to it. And I'm sure there will be some heat warnings issued once again for southern Alberta, potentially even Calgary included in that for Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. Here's Calgary. Here are the clouds that have increased. You can see the system just starting to make its way over the border now. And this is a look at that system, that lovely stateside system that will deliver some rain to many communities. Unfortunately, not as much expected in the southeast corner, which is where we need it the most. Medicine Hat looking at picking up maybe a millimeter. Lethbridge will likely get about 20 millimeters. And for us in Calgary, no real rainfall expected, just an isolated sprinkle. I'm going to advance this and you can see what I mean. So Pincher Creek, Christmas Pass will start to get the rainfall. This evening will be heavy at times. And then overnight especially and through tomorrow morning, reaching into Lethbridge, heavy at times. It will likely reach as far north as Okotoks when we're looking at that more consistent widespread rainfall. And then we may see a little sprinkle in Calgary, but this starts to shift off. So not really any significant rainfall expected here, but we will get the cloud cover. We will get the wind and we will get cooler temperatures as well. Late day Sunday, we get into the potential of some thunderstorm activity after 4 p.m. Okay, 19 for tomorrow. A small chance of isolated showers for tomorrow morning. If we get anything at all, that's our best chance of getting it is Saturday morning. Sunday, the sun will peak out, but later in the day, we have the risk of a thunderstorm. We'll get back into the 20s for Sunday, mid-20s for Monday, and then likely into the 30s for Tuesday, if not Wednesday.
Danielle, we usually get a couple of hot days during Stampede week, and
yes,
they are coming up later on in the week. Yeah,
Tuesday, Wednesday. Now, the models are kind of retracting things a little bit with regards to how much heat we're going to get, but likely you can expect to hit 29, 30 for Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. Those will be the hot ones. Not sure if that's where when you head out to Stampede, depending on the person, or when you take a break from Stampede, because with all the people in the pavement, it gets too hot. Okay, 18 is the current temperature. Today's high, 18, below normal of 22. Okay, trying to click. This is clicking, it's not clicking. So what we're gonna say is, for tomorrow, we have the chance of showers in the morning. A little sprinkle, Ian, so we're not expecting much. But then clearing out in the afternoon. So high of 19. Ian?
All right.
Thank you, Mark. Go get yourself some donuts. We'll check in with you again in a little bit. We'll check in with Danielle now. What sort of night is ahead? The sky's looking a little bit dark out there.
Yeah, I know it's looking a little ominous, Tara, but really Calgary should mainly remain on the far outside edge of this system that's approaching from the States. So areas like Lethbridge, Pincher Creek could see 20 millimeters of rain. But where we are in Calgary, it may just touch on us a little bit. Our best chance of getting any sort of rainfall is tomorrow morning, and even that looks like just a light sprinkle. It's 18 degrees. We do have the cloud cover from the system, and it's a little windy here and there, and that will be this story on and off through the next 24 hours because we're on the outside edge of this system. So again, we get to about a 40% chance of an isolated shower for tomorrow morning. Tomorrow, a similar high to today of 19, and the afternoon should remain mainly dry but windy. More details coming up, Tara.
Thank you, Danielle. All right, let's turn our eyes to the forecast. A lot of people will want to be outside the next 10 days, of course, for stampeding.
Rides, poutine, rodeo, whatever it is. She's shouting donuts from over there, if you didn't hear her. Yes, donuts. That's one of the #1 things for sure. Yeah, you know, it's not going to be too hot this weekend, so it's a really nice weekend to head out because you're not going to be dealing with excessive heat that will be arriving next week. 18 degrees is the temperature in Calgary at the moment. We can expect similar temperatures for tomorrow as well. 22 in Lethbridge and Milk River, Brooks, Drumheller, and Medicine Hat in those mid-20s. So what's been happening is we had a ridge of high pressure in place. This has shifted mainly out now, still holding a little bit of heat in that southeast corner, as you just saw. But we're looking at another ridge building in. Now, it will start to build in Monday, but you'll really notice a difference on Tuesday and Wednesday for most communities. And in fact, likely we'll have heat warnings issued once again for many communities in southern Alberta. We may even see that in Calgary because we're along the border of really meeting that warning criteria for Tuesday and Wednesday. So heads up on that one. Here's the system that's rolling in. So this is why we've had the cloud cover creep into Calgary. We had a little bit of a windy afternoon at times, but nothing crazy. The rainfall already making its way into the Lethbridge area. Thunderstorm activity on the BC side. And we're looking at a significant rainfall for Lethbridge and especially over off to the west of Lethbridge, Pincher Creek, Crozes Pass. Here's a better look at the system, and it will deliver that widespread long-term rainfall to areas south of Calgary. It may reach as far north as Okotoks and give a couple millimeters there. Here you go is the timeline. So for this evening, it will build and intensify into the Pincher Creek, Crozes Pass area. Overnight, really intensifying in the Lethbridge area, creeping into the Medicine Hat area, and even Okotoks, as you can see here. Looks like that's as far north as it goes. Now, there will still be isolated sprinkles, likely in the city, but nothing significant and nothing long-lasting, as we're on the outside edge of this. And then thunderstorm activity later in the day tomorrow for Medicine Hat. We likely won't see that in Calgary because it doesn't look like it will have the strength. It will develop, but it doesn't look like it will make its way this far off to the east. So our best chance of seeing any sort of isolated shower in Calgary is tomorrow morning. Should be dry in the afternoon. Here's a look, an idea. This is likely an underestimation for Pincher Creek, 20 millimeters possible here, even 20 for Lethbridge. And then because of the thunderstorm potential later in the day, Medicine Hat maybe 3 millimeters. Calgary, we're looking at under a millimeter. 19 for tomorrow is our high. Afternoon thunderstorms are possible on Sunday, but the morning looks nice and dry. Mid-20s by Monday as that next ridge builds in and into the 30s by the time we get into Tuesday and Wednesday. That's your Action Furnace 5-day forecast.
2009 at V Festival in Staffordshire, England. This new tour includes 41 dates with a pair of back-to-back shows in Toronto at the Rogers Stadium in August. Oh, you flying to Toronto for that? I know you were a big Oasis fan.
I am, which shows my age, I think, a little bit. But yes, big Oasis fan, and no, unfortunately not going.
It's big that they're back. Okay, we all know kids can say the darndest things, even when they can't fully speak.
Which one? Is it?
It is purple.
This little guy just learned the color purple, but he adds a little pizzazz to the word. He's got a little raspberry at the start there. I don't know how thought you would keep a straight face with this little kid.
He's very serious and proud of himself.
Maybe that is how you say it.
Maybe it is.
I hope he always says it that way.
Yeah.
That's good.
From now on.
Yeah. Fishermen usually brag about their catch, but not this guy. He's more proud of his throw.
How good is that?
So good. This guy lines it up. He throws the fish just perfectly for this eagle to swoop in and grab it. The raptor just flies off with his lunch. That's a fishtail. That's pretty good
to show the kids, though.
Yeah.
That's memorable right there.
Obviously, the eagle was sort of hanging around watching.
Yeah.
Like, I'll have that if you're not going to eat it.
Right.
BC may be the birthplace of the Nanaimo bar, but 5 kids in Ontario believe they have made the world's largest one just a couple of months after a similar feat on Vancouver Island.
5 kids making a 1,200-pounder to give back to youth. That's so inspirational.
Yeah, a 1,200-pound Nanaimo bar. It's part of a fundraiser for charity. The kids say the massive dessert took 1 full... Look at that piece.
Oh, and it looks so good, too.
I know. It took a full day to bake. It took 2 weeks to plan. It comes 5 years after their family first set the Guinness World Record for the largest Nanaimo bar. But they say this time they're not going to submit it to Guinness. They just want to give others a chance to hold the record. Because, if that sounds familiar, it was just 2 months ago on Vancouver Island that university students in Nanaimo laid claim to the world's largest Nanaimo bar. It also weighed more than 1,200 pounds. The recipe called for the butter equivalent to the weight of a baby elephant. The event raised money to buy new ovens for the university's culinary programs.
And I mean, I feel like we should throw this out there. You're always welcome to invite members from CTV out if you plan on doing these kinds of delicious record
Nobody says no to Nanaimo bars. Nobody.
Right?
Nobody. Just ahead.
Here's your Skywatch weather camera, and the clouds have rolled in, but that's predominantly what we're getting in Calgary from this system. It's a big system stateside, and it's going to push a lot of rain to areas south of Calgary over these next 24 hours, starting mainly tonight. 18 degrees is that current temperature. Today's high was just 18, so we're, 4 degrees below normal for this time of year. So certainly a break right now from the excessive heat we had earlier this week, and that excessive heat will be back in early next week. So enjoy the break that we're getting from the heat right now. 18 the high in Calgary, 17 in Edmonton, still into the 20s in much of Saskatchewan, and still into the 30s in central and southern Manitoba. Okay, radar and satellite, there is that system. We need rain in many communities, so this is not a bad thing. There will be heavier rain from Lethbridge over to Pincher Creek, Christmas Pass. That looks to be the bullseye area for this system. We may pick up a couple millimeters in Medicine Hat, and if anything in Calgary, yes, we'll get some cloud cover. Yes, we'll have the cooler temperatures. Yes, we'll get windy conditions at times. We may pick up to a millimeter. Our best chance of any rainfall is tomorrow morning. So a small chance of an isolated shower this evening and overnight, very small chance, definitely the cloud cover. Tomorrow morning is when we get into about a little bigger of a chance, so 40% chance of an isolated shower. And then by the afternoon it should be dry, but mainly cloudy and windy. All right, on the BC side, you're looking at showers for Fernie, you're looking at dry conditions for Edmonton, Rocky Mountain House and Red Deer, and basically Olds, Calgary and Banff. Again, small chance of morning showers, and then a greater chance of heavier rain, especially from Christmas Pass, Pincher Creek over to Lethbridge. Tara?
Thank you, Danielle.
Stampede Pole and the Stamps, they are back in action next Friday night as they're in Regina to take on the Rough Riders. They're now 3-1, by the way. Good start for the Stamps, Tara.
Good stuff, Glenn. Thank you. Have fun down there tonight on day 1. Let's bring Danielle back in now as we get our final peek at the weather.
And look at Glenn shining so bright down there.
It looks great.
I love it. Okay, with regards to the weather, there is a system tracking into the province from the States. But for Calgary, it looks like we're going to be on the outside edge. Now, there's a small chance of an isolated shower for the evening and the overnight hours. We have a decent chance of seeing a little sprinkle tomorrow morning, and then should be dry tomorrow afternoon and a high of 19, but windy and a decent amount of cloud cover tomorrow afternoon. All right, that's your Action Furnace 24-hour forecast. Fixed right or it's free. Okay, let's talk about the next 10 days here, because I didn't get a chance to show you earlier. If you like the heat, it will be back Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. You can see we should get into the 30s, which is well above normal, and even to kick off next week, mid-20s. Weather window brought to you by Lux Windows and Doors, crafting quality windows and doors for your style, budget, and Alberta's climate. And Roy Miller sent this one in from Longview. So quintessential Alberta as we kick into Stampede, Tara.
That is a very Alberta shot.
Right?
That's beautiful.
And calming.
Yes, lovely. Well, thank you for your company tonight. We're going to leave you with some of the highlights again of this morning's Stampede Parade. Have a terrific weekend.